All right, welcome back to the program. Sola Adesakin, the founder of Smart Stewards, is joining me right now via Zoom. Hello, Sola, and welcome to the program. Hi, Sola, are you there? Can you hear me? Sola, can you unmute? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Sola? Sola, can you hear me now? Oh, okay. Sola, if you can hear me, can you unmute so that we can go ahead with our discussion? Okay, while we await Shola to come up, like I said earlier, we will be talking about black tax and financial security. Black tax, okay, she can hear me. Hello, Shola, welcome to the show.
Yeah. Hi, Nancy.
Hi,
Good morning
hi, good
from
morning. How
Lagos,
are you?
Nigeria.
I'm well, and you're looking
I'm
so fine
in a
this
great
morning.
place. Thank you so much, Nancy.
Okay,
Taking a cue from you.
thank you, thank you too. Now let's go ahead, Shola. We're saying black tax. What actually is black tax? I try to explain. I try to explain it at the beginning of the program. Just what exactly is black tax, and why does it matter? Why are we discussing it this morning?
Okay. Right. So let me explain it in a kindergarten manner. So black tax is like the funds that a person of color, a professional, a black person who is working provides to their family outside of their own living expenses as a matter of obligation. So literally it means that I am working, I've got family outside of my day-to-day, month-to-month obligations. I have to provide finances, I have to provide support for my family members. It's just a cultural preference that family has to come first, in this part of the world. And I think that's why it is called black tax. So literally, I have to provide for my family. I have to, outside of whatever needs and necessities I have to provide for them. Now, you said, how important is it? Or, I'm
Yes.
like, it is just something that people, the black race, literally, I mean, because it's a terminology that emanated from South Africa, and I think it's common. I live in Nigeria and it's very, very common here where, there are tweets, there are conversations around, the need to provide for our family members, our parents, and, things like children are their parents' retirement package and all of those things. So black tax is just saying that, hey, you're making money, you're working, so provide for people behind you. What is the impact of this for the person who is paying the black taxes? It just literally means that you have to figure out your family members in your budget. You have to give them a slot. So whether the money is enough or not is not an issue. You just have to be there for them because you work, you earn money, and you must necessarily provide for them. So sometimes it is not exactly convenient. Sometimes you just have to go out of your way to just ensure that they're happy with you and they're not, reporting you to village people, so to say. But the truth is, I am not against people paying black taxes. If it is something you can accommodate, especially depending on your role. I mean, for people who are firstborn, there's that thing, about people looking up to them to provide for the younger ones, provide for their parents. Hey, if it is something you can accommodate within your budget, why not? But please prioritize your life, plan your finances. As usual, I wrote down like an acronym for it, and I call it PET, prioritize plan. A lot of people have not been able to get their finances together. They usually have so many obligations, whilst their own nuclear family is suffering. So plan, yes, take care of your extended family as much as your income can accommodate it, but plan, prioritize. What are the important things? Yes, if I have to take care of my aged parents, then it goes into the budget. Anything outside of that, do you see? So plan, prioritize, evaluate your roles, evaluate the expectations of people, of family. Nancy, I was listening to a story that somebody shared with me. There's this young guy who happened to be the last born of the family. And then he kept collecting from everybody, from the oldest to the youngest. At the end of the day, they realized that this guy had built a house. He was smart enough. And his other siblings who were older than him had not, built anything. This guy was smart. He had, through black taxes, built a family, built his own house, right? So you evaluate your roles. How many people are looking up to me? How can I help them? My pastor says something, and I love it a lot. He says, if you are behaving like El Shaddai, you shall die, because you cannot carry the responsibility of the whole world. So evaluate your roles, evaluate the expectations. And then the T, remember I said pet. The T is have talks, have conversations. Teach these people around you. Let them realize that, hey, these are my limitations in terms of how I am able to help you. I cannot go beyond this. Now, when you start to borrow money because you need to take care of your extended family, and then you keep borrowing, and you keep sort of widening your debt trap or whatever it is, then there's a problem. So have conversations. If you are financially literate enough, have conversations. Teach them how to earn money for themselves. Teach them how to budget. If you have the means to also provide maybe small businesses for them, please do as much as you can. But you cannot continue to carry the whole burden of everybody. But it's
Yeah.
just a cultural thing again, where people think that you have to also always prioritize your extended family. That's the concept of black taxes.
Yeah. Thank you, Shola, for that. Um, the summary of just what you said and what black tax means, especially for those Nigerians that are listening right now, is like you are your family's ATM, as it were. But the thing, just like you said, is that you should also know when, not really to put a stop to it, because even while I was ruminating around this topic, the thing that also tells us a simple story is the remittances that come into Nigeria, even for those abroad. Those in Nigeria, you see you helping your siblings and all of that, or even extended family. Nigerians abroad are also sending in the dollars. Remittances, the remittance tells the story. I think $16.7 billion in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. The question now, Sholai, is you've said, okay, you can teach people and all of that. How do you balance the concept of black tax with your own financial well-being? Because that's one. Number two is, do you think that black tax is also encouraging laziness amongst us? In terms of, you just gave a story, a child that is the last one of the family has even built a house. The people ahead have not even built a house. So how do you balance that? And do you think that it encourages laziness? Some people may say, okay, the economy is not good, so the person that is doing well should help others. We're not saying you shouldn't help others, but how do you balance it? South Africans will say Ubuntu. I am because we are. I am what I am because we are. But how do you balance it too?
All right, thank you. Thank you, Nancy. Let me start from the second question. To be honest, I mean, when you look at the state of the economy, and not even in Nigeria, around the world, it's a trying time for a lot of people. But hey, we are talking about black taxes, and this concept has existed, for a long time. So even when there were no issues, there was no depression, there was no recession, there was no macroeconomic issues or limitations, people have been having expectations. Again, people think once one member of my family has made it, so to say, we have all made it. So we must enjoy the whole thing together. Now, the question, I'm going to start from the second question. Does it encourage laziness? I mean, arguably, yes and no. Now, look at the example I gave. This guy was smart enough to sort of task his older siblings, just getting money. Reading, ask to say what was his explanation, but he was smart enough to use it. We have heard of stories where people collect the money, some use it for drugs, some use it, they just waste the money, right? So does it encourage laziness? It would be unfair for me to say absolutely yes, because of the state of the economy, a lot of people are really, really trying to balance things, right? A lot of people are trying to just get their acts together and just stay afloat and even provide for their relations, for their immediate family. Now it goes back to the person who is, paying the black taxes, so to say. You have to evaluate, right? Does it mean from one case to another? If you are financially smart, if you're emotionally intelligent, you are likely to discover when you're being taken for granted. But it still comes back to, a out of my money. For example, maybe I'm making 200,000 per month. I have done my budget. 50% of my income goes into my necessities. 20 or 30 goes into my savings, and then maybe the remaining 20% will go into my wants. Okay, am I deciding that whatever I'm giving to my family members will come out of my 20%? You decide. And once you do that, then that's it. But you see, family members sometimes coming time and again, tasking people, asking for stuff. At the end of the day, sometimes they don't realize what goes into earning money. So does it encourage laziness? Like I am, on both sides. You determine. You should be able to decipher when it is bordering on laziness, when it is just being taken advantage of, or when the person genuinely needs it. Again, it comes down to having conversations. I have realized that, with family, with friends, with whoever, if you don't draw the boundaries, people will take advantage of you. The systems of the world are designed to take from you, and not necessarily black taxes, government taxes, bills, vendors, school fees, and all of those things. You must be able to plan, you must be able to draw the boundaries, especially when the obligations could be optional or could be subjective. So you do your calculations, you have the conversations, and then you decide if this is bordering on laziness. If you have somebody who is able-bodied, who is able to walk, who keeps coming up with, excuses, then you know that you have to step in to say, hey, enough of this. Once I give you this next time, you're not working with it, then it's over. But for parents, aged parents who cannot walk, personally, I believe that we have an obligation. They can't walk any longer most times, yeah. So, I mean, as much as you can support, you should support. Now, to the first question, how does it affect your financial security? I know that we have a lot of financial jargons, financial freedom, financial independence, stability, and all of those. But security is just a place where you have a peace of mind, or you have the peace of mind that what I am making covers my expenses adequately. Now, the figures will differ from one person to another. Now, you keep paying, if you keep paying black taxes, you keep helping people at the detriment of building something for yourself, then you are to blame. Right. So when it comes to financial security, there are four things to consider. Your income, is it adequate enough? Do I need to make more money? Then you should also have some emergency funds. More than ever before, the state of the economy is so worrisome. I mean, the prices of goods and services have just gone up astronomically. I tell people that, hey, there are things beyond your control, there are things within your control. In Nigeria, especially, inflation, devaluation are brutal twins tugging at your income all the time. So you need to plan, have emergencies. It's not enough to say, oh, yeah, my expenses have been taken care of. You need to have like a war chest where if anything happens, you're able to quickly draw from. Because if you don't have an emergency fund, you will keep borrowing if an emergency shows up. Do you see? So that's the second thing. The third thing, have something for the future. Just no matter how small, don't wait till when you have enough money. Remember, I'm talking about financial security. If you have these four things in place, then you can say, okay, I can do additional. So I said, ensure that your income is solid, rock solid, hedge against income risk. If you can do more than one or two, have one or two income sources, fine. Have emergency funds, right? Ensure that your savings and investments are fine. Part of emergency could be health stuff, and then be debt free. If you have debt and you keep servicing black taxes, you keep giving and giving and giving, and you're not settling your debts, they would wait for you in the future. Do you see? So, financial wisdom, financial literacy is such an important thing to have in a time like this. Now, this is not a time where you would say, I don't have a knack for figures. I've never loved mathematics. I am not just, I just don't understand what is happening. you know, they're showing economic news, financial news. You're switching channels to, you know, all of those other channels. No, you've got to understand. So financial intelligence would make you realize that, hey, this is the state of my finances. I have debt. I don't have an emergency fund. My income is shaky, right? I don't have savings and investment. Once I do what I have said to do, what I have planned to do, then whatever resources I have will go into building all of these four other things again. So it comes back to you realizing the need to be financially intelligent, to be financially savvy, right? To embrace wisdom in a time like this. To be honest, Nancy, in my adult years, I don't think I have seen people stressed in Nigeria regarding their finances as much as I have seen
This
in the
time.
last few weeks. It's
Yeah.
been so terrible. You
Yeah.
know, light, diesel, petrol issues, it's just generally discouraging.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we owe ourselves the responsibility of keeping our head in place and, you know, just learning and you know, boring ourselves sense, as we say here in Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Shola. You know that we can really go on and on when we're talking personal finance. You know, we can really go on and on, but that's the much we can take on today's edition of the program. Hoping that we would have you soon again to look at whether this same issue or some other issue. So have a good day, Shola.
Thank you, Nancy. See you later.
All right, I've been speaking with Sola Adesakin, who is the founder and Chief Executive Officer at Smart Stewards. We've been looking at the concept of black tax. That's the much you can take on today's edition of the program. Thank you all for joining us. Be the best you can be and be the change that you want to see. And let's all go out there to support the Super Eagles later today and 29th of March. Don't forget to get your tickets. I'll see you all next week. Bye now.